my name is Madison Artzt, and I am a high school sophomore, and I'm here to teach you about acting and a little bit of musical theater. Just a little background on me. I take drama every single day at my high school. I'm in the advanced class, and I went to a magnet middle school where I took drama every day for 2 hours, sometimes 3, depending on what grade I was in. And I'm looking forward to hopefully studying musical theater in college and getting my BFA and moving to New York. So yeah, I'm here to teach you guys how you can improve your acting, whether you are a beginner just starting out or if you're already advanced and you just want some different approaches and techniques. I am not a professional in any way, shape, or form, so I'm obviously going to teach things differently than other people might teach. This is my easy way to begin acting. The very first thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is some drama terminology. Now, there are different approaches that you can take when you want to study acting techniques, such as Stanislavski, or a lot of different people have different acting techniques, but the basics start with knowing your terminology. And the first thing you have to know when you're acting, and these are all my definitions, they're not official definitions, is blocking. Blocking is when you have written down in a script when you're supposed to move, kind of how you may react, different stage directions where if you're, while saying this line, you move stepping to your right or you sit down. In my script, I have my lines highlighted, and I have my name, my character's name, and the line highlighted. Up here, you have your scene heading, which this was scene 8. And over here, I have enter in the left side of the stage, my left. And I wrote not chair just so I knew, because we blocked in a different setting than where we were performing. So I used a piece of this set that I knew was always going to be on stage as the side I should come on, and that is not the chair. The next thing you need to know is what cues are. Cues are usually the line before you that lets you know that your line is about to come. So let's say I'm doing the drowsy chaperone, and Kitty says, "Mr. Belzig," and the line before her, is, "Oh, Kitty, what are you doing today?" or whatever. That line is my cue line, which lets me know that the line after that means when he says that line, or whoever the character is says that line, the line after that is going to be my line or my entrance or something. Someone could say on stage, like, "Look, there she comes," and that's my cue to walk on stage. There's many different cues. You could have musical cues, like a certain phrase starts the beginning of a song, like in Wicked when they say Emerald City, it's something like that. It starts the song One Short Day. And so cues are very important to all the people running the show, like the tech members, which are the people behind the scenes that work the lighting, the sound, the music, the orchestra, when they know to play. And cues are also very important to your fellow actors on stage, because you could have someone else's cue line that lets them know when it's their turn to speak or enter. So if you miss your line, they're going to miss their cue line, and everything can just go downhill from there. So cues are very, very important to make sure you know all your lines and make sure you enter at the right time. Stage directions are how in the theater world we space out our stage. So when you're looking at a stage, the audience is in front. The audience is right here. And then you have your stage. The furthest, when you're the furthest from the audience, you are the furthest up stage. And the closer you get to the audience, the closer down stage you get. You have stage right and stage left. Stage right and stage left are very important to you because they are your right and your left. They are not the audience's right and left. They're your right and your left. So if I say I'm standing on stage left, that means it will be my left, I'm facing the audience, and it will be to my left. Also important stage directions is you have downstage left, downstage center, downstage right, middle stage left, center stage, middle stage right, upstage left, upstage center, and upstage right. And those are your different stage directions, and they're very important when it comes to blocking, because your director will usually tell you, okay, Madison, I want you to walk to upstage left and sit down in the chair. And then I need to be able to, without asking where that is, be able to walk upstage left. Or if I'm being choreographed in a number and the choreographer says, okay, Madison, you're gonna be downstage right in front of Susan, then that's where you need to stand, and you have to know where to stand. Another thing that's very important when it comes to acting is the positions you are. Me facing you guys right now is full front, which is I'm directly facing towards you, the audience, and you can see all of my emotions. Usually when you're doing a scene with a partner or something, you never want to be like this. You never want to be completely facing them profile, because then the audience can't see your reactions. What you want to do is what people call cheat out. So instead of facing directly my partner, I want to face this way, kind of diagonal, because then the audience can still see most of my reactions, but I'm not completely facing front away from my partner. It's a very easy way to have a good blocking with your partner on stage. Another thing a lot of directors don't like is when your back is facing the audience. You never usually want your back facing the audience unless it's important. Like, for instance, if you're in a classroom of students and you're obviously facing the teacher will be facing the audience, but you might have your back to the audience because you're paying attention to the teacher. Those are usually the only times that you have to be facing your back. Otherwise, you'd never want your back facing the audience, because then they can't see your beautiful face. Another important thing to note are the types of stages. The main types of stages you have are proscenium, thrust, arena. The most popular stage is the proscenium stage, and it's probably the easiest to work with. What wings are the spaces next to the stage. So if you have your stage here, your wing space will be off this way. And in your wings are where you wait to go on stage, or where you just watch the show from if you're in the show, or if you're a tech member, stage manager, you're usually watching the show from the wings so you can see what's going on and when to call cues and such. Lesson 2. Digging into your script/monologue.
Well, Tommy proposed to me and Tommy really does nothing but propose to me. He proposed to me last night in the music room when I was quite unprotected.
When you're looking for a monologue, the first thing you want to do is find a monologue that's right for you. A lot of times, directors and such, when you're auditioning, they don't like to see a 15-year-old girl playing a 40-year-old woman who's been through so much more in her life. A 15-year-old probably hasn't had that many experiences. Directors usually want to see you playing a character that's in your age group. For example, I'm a teenager, they most likely want to see a monologue done by a teenager or a very young adult. If you're finding a monologue to audition with, make sure you find out your audition requirements, what kind of monologue they're looking for. If they're looking for a comedic monologue, you need to find a comedic monologue. If they're looking for a dramatic monologue, you need to find a dramatic monologue. Comedic monologue is usually comedy. It's usually funny. It doesn't have to be funny. It can just be not necessarily dramatic, but more serial comic, where it's just kind of a normal. And then dramatic monologues are obviously drama, comedy and drama. If you're doing a monologue, it's always best to do monologue from a published play. A lot of times it's hard to find monologues from published plays, but if you can find one, I recommend you do it 100% of the time. Monologues from plays have advantages because you have an entire play to figure out your character. So when you're doing a monologue, you have to know your character. You have to be able to have read your play and know your character well, so you can act them out well, know what situation they're in, know how they'd be reacting to this.
It still feels like you're mad.
I'm not mad. I
But you
I
were.
wish you'd pay more
You
attention
are.
lately.
You're mad.
I'm not mad. I was having fun, I thought. I had fun tonight, did you?
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, Chad called me to the mill. I had to work.
I'm not mad at you, Phil. You had to work.
I did.
I've had it. I can take it no more. Do you hear me? You can pretend to be asleep. I don't care. I am not happy. How could I be? Am I supposed to enjoy your condescension? Should I love you humiliating me in front of your friends? How do you think I feel when I'm introduced as just an actress? As if what I did for a living didn't bring joy into this world? As if what I did for a living didn't make life more bearable for the disenfranchised you pretend to care about? There is dignity, profound dignity in my life, in my work. But you choose to sneer at it. People love soap operas. I get mail by the bushel, letters by the trillion. I have fans. I have followers. All over this country, people are worried about Montana Beach. Will she leave Brock for brick? Will she kick her ugly habits? Will she find her mother true love and the meaning of life? People care about me. Who cares about you, I might ask you? Who cares about you? Not I, Ethan. Not I. Lesson number 3, nailing your audition.
Hi, I'm Jada Pyatt.
Hi, my name is Michelle P.
Hi, my name is Haley.
Hi, my name is Cassidy Wall.
Performing a piece from The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde.
I'll be performing a monologue from the play Star Spangled Banner.
Performing a monologue from Innocence Crusade.
I'll be performing a monologue from the play Catholic Schoolgirls by Casey Kurt.
The first thing that you need to have when you want to nail your audition is confidence. You have to go into that room and tell yourself, I'm ready, I can do this. Even if they say no, that's the worst that can happen. As long as you're confident, the judges will most likely up your score by a ton, just by being confident and walking into the room smiling. The first thing you want to do when you walk in the room is say like, hi, good morning. Like, you want to be polite and nice. You don't want to just stand there awkwardly waiting for them to finish whatever they're doing. You want to have a glow to you and walk in with like, hi, good morning, and wait, and then politely wait for them to finish whatever they're doing and wait for them to let you continue on. But don't kind of be watching over them or be very anxious. You just want to be calm. And the next thing that's going to happen is they're going to ask you to slate. What happens when you slate is you state your name, what you will be performing, and who wrote it. So if I was going to be doing an audition for a musical, they'd probably want me to sing a song, so either a 16-bar cut or a 32-bar cut. A 16-bar cut of a song is about 30 seconds of the song, and a 32-bar cut of a song is about a minute of the song. So if it's a musical and I'm singing a song, I would go in and say, and I'd be, hi, good morning, wait for them to call me, and a lot of times you don't need to say your name, but sometimes you do. So I would go in and say, hi, my name is Madison Artzt, and I will be singing Still Hurting from the Last 5 Years, written by Jason Robert Brown. And if they didn't want me to say my name, they'd probably ask me, oh, what will you be doing for us today? And I'd say, I will be performing Still Hurting from the Last 5 Years, written by Jason Robert Brown. Sometimes you don't need to say who it's written by. A lot of times they don't really care if you do say who it's written by, but it makes it sound very more professional if you know who it's written by. And already you upped up a level. You are prepared more than the girl next to you. And then when you're finished with the audition, no matter how terribly it went or anything, you say, thank you. And thank you so much for your time, thank you. You never just want to be like, you want to thank them. They gave you this opportunity to audition. Without them, you wouldn't have an audition, or you wouldn't have a show or anything. Things to always remember in your audition is to go in prepared. You don't know. They could ask you to do anything. A lot of times, sometimes with monologues, they will ask you to do your monologue as completely different. If I was doing a monologue about a teenage girl lying to her mom, they might ask me as if I was a teenage girl lying to the jury. And then you do the same monologue as if you were lying to a jury. And it's probably a lot different than if you were lying to your mom. Or if a monologue of a girl who's scared of clowns talking to a clown about her fear of clowns, then you could probably do it of a clown who's creeping on you Like, there's so many different ways they could ask you to do your monologue, and you just have to go in prepared and always try what they're saying. Even if you have no clue what they want you to do, it's always better to try or be like,
I don't know if I can do that,
You want to try. If they tell you to sing like a gospel choir and you have no idea what a gospel choir is, you just go in there and do something. You don't want to be like,
please, Madison, sing as a gospel. Sing You're Still Hurting as a gospel choir.
and then you go, what you want to do in that situation is, Madison, please sing as a gospel choir. Okay. Jamie is over and Jamie is gone. This is me not knowing what a gospel choir is, but at least I'm trying something. And if you're trying, that shows them that you take direction. Even if you don't know what your direction really is talking about, you at least take direction, and that's something very important to them. So to remember to always go in there with confidence, be prepared, and just have fun. The one thing you want to do in an audition is have fun. You wouldn't be doing it if you didn't think it was fun. So you never want to go in bored or scared or tired or anxious. You want to go in and just have fun with whatever you're doing. You never want to just be boring. You want to have fun. And the one thing casting directors, everyone wants to see is someone who's enjoying what they're doing.
Lesson 4, Improv. Improv is short for improvisation, which I cannot pronounce, which is basically making up things on the spot. You have no script. You're doing everything on the spot. Your lines come from whatever you think of first. Improv is probably one of the funnest ways to express yourself and to be able to just go out there and have fun. Improv is great for being able to quick think on your feet and learn the basics. So shout out to my teacher, Miss Fox, for these amazing basic rules of improvisation that I'm going to read to you. 1. Say yes and. Agree with your partner and add on to what they have just contributed. Keep the scene moving forward with your and statement. When someone says to you, oh my god, there's an alien! You don't want to be like, no, that's not an alien. You want to say, yes, and it's coming towards us. To keep the scene moving, you have to say yes and, because if you say no, your partner's going to be stumped and they're not going to know what to continue with. So you want to keep your scene moving and you always want to continue with yes and. Number 2, don't deny. Do not block your partner's suggestions or try to change them. That is saying my idea is better. Same thing, kind of what I just did with say yes and. If your partner says, oh my god, there's an alien, you can't say, that's actually Hannah Montana, because you're just changing what they said. You want to go along with whatever they said. And even if you don't like it, you never know, something cool may come of it. Number 3, be sure your audience knows the 3 W's. Who, relationship to each other, where, setting, and what. What does your character want or need or objective? The 3 W's are very important when you're first establishing your scene in improv. You want to make sure you know who. So if I'm doing an improv with a partner, in my first couple of dialogue, I want to say, this is my sister Holly, and we are at the park, and I need to find my brother. We lost him. So in the beginning dialogue to that scene, you'd want to establish that the girl I'm doing my scene with, her name is Holly, and she's my sister. B, we're at the park, and C, we're trying to find our lost brother. So your audience needs to know those so they can connect with the scene better and understand what's going on. Number 4, avoid questions. It is lazy and makes your partner do all of the work on stage. Questions are so hard for you to answer on the spot. You are basically getting yourself out easily and making your partner do all the work. So if I say, the first question you never want to start with is, what do you want to do today? We're starting the scene, so you need to come up with, let's go to the movies, or let's go to an amusement park, or why don't do or something like, let's do some yoga. You can be like, want to do some yoga, so it's not just like, not giving your partner an idea of what to think about, but you just want to avoid questions. Number 5, name your partner. Scenes about relationships are always more interesting. You cannot have a relationship with someone without knowing and / using their name. Name your partners early in the scene. So just like I said before with my sister Holly, I named my sister. Once you have names, the audience can relate and connect better with, oh, that's Lauren and that's Drake. So they can know what's going on and who they are. 6. Don't abandon your stage partner. Don't leave to go get something or hop on your imaginary phone while on stage. It leaves your partner with nothing to do while you are off doing something else. You never want to abandon someone on stage. They're not going to know what to do, and this is an improv, not a monologue. They're not doing their own scene. You're in the scene together. 7. Focus on the here and the now. Scenes about previous action are never as interesting. Focus on what is going on right now. You don't want to do a scene talking about what happened at Kayla's party last night. You want to be at Kayla's party and in the moment, so the audience is more interested. 8. Establish a location early in the scene. People naturally want to know the location. Don't make your audience wait to find out where you are. You want your audience to be able to imagine where you are and imagine you guys in that situation. And they can't do that if they don't know where you are. 9. Be specific. Give your partner details. This is so important because you could be totally, if you want your improv to go a certain way, you have to give details. Your partner is not going to know what you want to do. If you go in on the ground holding your foot, your partner could think that your foot is hurt when really you're just warming up for a race. And if you don't give details with that, then your partner will take the scene into a completely different direction and you'll be stumped because you already kind of had an idea of what you were going to do, thinking on the spot, and it's not going to work out well. 10. Change often. Keep the scene moving forward. Don't make ideas stale by repeating yourself or not trying new tactics. Your objective doesn't need to change continually, just the tactics that you use to try to accomplish the objective. Repetition can be funny, but it can also become very boring very fast. That is very true. Going back to my scene with my sister Holly looking for our lost brother, the first thing we might do is call out his name. So we'd be like, Henry! Henry! You don't want to be calling Henry's name the entire scene. After you're calling Henry doesn't work the first 3 times, you may be like, why don't we give him a call? Or why don't we ask someone if they saw what he looks like? Or why don't we look over there? Instead, you got to change what you're doing. Although my objective is still looking for Henry, I'm changing how I'm looking for Henry, looking for my objective, trying to solve my objective, so it makes the scene a lot more interesting. Up next, you guys are going to see an example of an improv game called Freeze and Justify. These are with my friends Haley, Jackie, and Ari. Thank you guys so much. Freeze and Justify, you need basically 3 people or more to play. So what happens is the first 2 people are standing and then the other person's sitting behind or whatever. I'll start out by giving them an objective. Giving them where they are or what they're doing or something like that. So I'll say, for instance, you're on a roller coaster. Haley wants to ride a roller coaster and Ari doesn't. So that gives them immediately something to go with. Once they start the scene, they'll do the scene for about 30 to 45 seconds before Jackie, who is sitting behind watching, will call freeze, and Haley and Ari will freeze in whatever position they were last in their scene. Jackie will go in, take one of the girls out, go into their exact position. So if Ari ended like this, Jackie has to go into the scene like this and start a completely new scene that has nothing to do with the scene before. It's a very fun way to learn to be fast on your feet, change often, and to be able to just start new scenes and get scenes going quickly. So enjoy.
Hi. I'm Haley. Yeah. So what do you in for?
What is you in for? I'm in for killing you.
I'm just here for like. I don't know. Do you like it? Like, I feel like it's like too small. Like, what if I can't like run in them? Your whole. They're bad. They're terrible. No, I'm sorry. They're just for running. Like, I mean, I like to look cute when I run, but like, it's fine. They're fine, right? They're fine. I was just saying.
Like 10 times.
No, please. We are in a hospital. Grace. Here. Please, don't! Please, I have a family! I don't care, madam. I do not care. I need your money. I need your house. Please, no, it's so ridiculous. Please! I will take your head. I will take that head right.
Lesson 5, musical theater. Whoa. Am I insane? This is what I've been waiting for. Well, that puss screaming at 10 angry editors. A girl, it's a girl. How the hell is that even legal? Look, just go and get her. Not only that, there's a story behind the story. Thousands of children exploited, invisible. Speak up, take a stand, and there's someone to write about, and that's how things get better. So we just spent the whole time talking about acting, and I did mention a lot of singing and auditions and stuff like that, and then we switched to improv, and then kind of, yeah. This whole lesson is going to be on musical theater. So you have theater and then you have musical theater, which are very similar, except in musical theater you add music and dancing and choreography and wonderful stuff. Musical theater is also a lot harder probably because you have to worry about 3 different things. In straight acting, you just have to worry about your acting and just acting your scene and everything. In musical theater, you have to worry about if you're doing the right dance move while singing on key and still emotionally connecting to whatever you're doing, which makes it a lot more difficult in some eyes. So musical theater is basically singing, dancing, and acting. That's mainly the 3 things you do in musical theater. You don't have to be perfect at all 3 to do a musical or do anything. I am, in fact, not a very good dancer, and I'm straight musical theater always. So when you're doing musical theater, you have to at least have some background on what musicals are, what are some musicals. The most popular musicals are probably Wicked, Lion King, Mamma Mia, Hairspray. Musicals like that are probably the most popular musicals, and they give you a good feel for what musicals are. A lot of musicals are written by the same people, and they're usually the most popular things people go when they go to Broadway. You usually go to see a musical, a lot of times you'll go to see a play, but a lot of times you'll go to see a musical. Musical theater is a lot of fun. In my opinion, it is a lot funner than straight acting. Although I do both, I did a musical in the fall, and although in rehearsals you get really tired after a while repeating the same number, repeating the same dance moves, and then it comes around to February and you're doing a straight play and you haven't done a musical in months and you're like,
I really miss singing and dancing.
If you're interested in doing musical theater, the one thing I can tell you to do is practice, 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 rehearse, 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 and take classes. If you can afford classes, take them. Oh my goodness. Online, there are some great online classes. This DVD is an online class, so that's helping you, and I believe I am helping you a lot. So you can go and prepare to an audition or whatever you want to do with your acting, but taking classes will help you so much. I personally take a private voice lesson every week because that's something I want to do to improve my musical theater. I don't take dance, which I should, but I don't. And I take acting at school, so I have kind of 3 somewhat done. But you always want to take classes, and you always want to rehearse. You want to research also. You want to find new songs and things that fit your voice. You don't want to be an alto, which is like singing kind of lower for a girl, and be singing a soprano song. For example, if I'm an alto, which means probably I don't hit very high notes, and I pick to sing Think of Me from Phantom of the Opera at an audition, it's gonna sound terrible. And even if you lower the key, they're gonna be like, why isn't she singing something that an alto would normally sing? Why did she lower Think of Me from Phantom of the Opera? Wow, we've reached the end of this insanely awesome DVD. I hope I have inspired you guys in some way to go out and start acting. I mean, we need more actors in this world. We need more people in theater and enjoying theater and embracing it
We are a weird group of people, and we'd love you to join us. So if you have any questions at all, I will always keep my email open, maddiegator25@gmail.com, maddiegator25@gmail.com. And you can email me with anything, any questions you have. You need help finding a piece, let me know, and I will do anything I can to help you. Thank you guys so much, and keep calm, theater on.